afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Off here to 1 vs 1 own glorious Langraskaya. In the north, it is Jimmy, fighting for the German army, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 23rd Panzer Division here with Osttruppen, German infantry, and Jaeger infantry. Double Panzer infantry bulletins. West and south, it is Use-M246, fighting for the Soviet Union, socialism, Comrade Stalin, and the 1st Mechanized Corps here with Gat Motor, Shock Rifle, and Urban Defense with Triple Infantry bulletins here. We got a gun in the MD42 start there for Jimmy, and double conscripts for Use. Also, big thanks to Simon for donating and supporting the Propagandacast with his hard-earned money. You too can join his example by donating yourself. Links in the description. You can also pledge a Patreon, join the many heroic Patreon supporters who support me on a monthly basis. Or as you can always just like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you subscribe, do press the bell button. Anyways, we've got using Westwards here for Use. Conscripts sitting out there. And meanwhile, we got Jimmy actually rushing for the zone of this pioneer in the MD42. We got using Eastwards there, third conscript all the way there for Use M246 and the Red Army. Sandbags almost done this. In fact, they are done in the center. Machine covering up there. Very slow process towards the western viewpoint, which has been interesting there by Use-M246. Seems more securing the area around his base at first, creating perhaps a bit of a buffer zone. Admittedly, Jimmy's not particularly rushing hard for his fuel point either, of course, rushing to score the center initially. Machine gun neg left just to cover the center pioneers and eastwards, of course, leaves the right flank here open. Meanwhile, Use pushing westwards there for the Red Army. Second Grenadier Squad almost down there for Jimmy, securing the eastern point, and we got the third conscript of Use putting more pressure on the right flank. Looks like it's going to try and hit here Jimmy's early resource flow. Cheeky, but of course quite effective, executed properly. Though in this case, does seem to back off troops. Perhaps he's actually not planning to push hard there into Jimmy's eastern viewpoint here. That was a possibility that I was considering otherwise. Back here, nothing fair going for Jimmy. We're probably using a third Grenadier Squad here. Fourth gun squad for Use-M246 for the Red Army. Pioneers pushing hit, Grenadiers moving eastwards. Other Grenadier squad here. Probably scout up with opponents, and there you go. First shots fired here in the center around the 2-minute and almost 30-second mark here. MD42 delivers a blazing sermon of lead. They had the conscript repositions, but the conscript pushing ahead. Interesting move there by Use. Perhaps if Use wasn't paying attention. Shots fired here in these Grenadiers was the conscript looking to get to the building, at least denied to the opponent. So a bit of back and forth here. Grenadier squad down the fuel point there. That means the conscript can be in trouble. Third Grenadier squad out there for Jimmy, and there you go. Conscript down to half health, down 2 men as well. Party is winding off here. West side here, we got a deep flank here, but there you go. Grenadiers squad all in position to try and at least deal with it. But up close, the conscript had an advantage over the Grenadiers. Down here, the fighting continues. Center west machinery position being caught here with MD42. Definitely a bit of a bad call there by Jimmy. Molotov's ready here for Use-M246 on the MD42 as well. They're really great. And all of a sudden, Jimmy's position actually looking pretty precarious with several key elements there being around him. There you go. Another Molotov Use is just chucking them left, right, and center. Grenadiers right here as well there. Leaving the car point now open. And the right flank is the only thing that is somewhat holding here for Jimmy and the Germans. Pioneers could also look like it's going to get wiped out. Yes, indeed. Quite a blow there to Jimmy. Forced off the field, lost his Pioneers. And he didn't even get a wipe. He's going to, of course, have to replace the Pioneers after he's done taking. He replaced the Pioneers first, then he takes. No sign of docking yet. Grenadiers with the conscripts here. Need to, of course, be careful of those Molotovs, and they are quite nasty in the hands of a good player. Our way comes to their routed. Conscript holding up here, low in health though. At least they've got his fuel point connected. But that is about really it here for Jimmy at the moment versus Use-M246. He's got the fuel point connected here. Back here, feeling him up. Use, of course, in need of some serious healing for most of his men who have been quite beaten up by the Germans. Grenadiers moving down here for the center back here. Grenadiers getting ready. Pioneers squatting westwards there. Still needs to take up here. Of course, he needs to take up Schnell. Or at least Schnell-like. And there we go. Schnell tech going on there. Grenadiers around the engineers backed up with MD42. Back here, conscript grabbing the point there. Bit of back and forth here, pushing through the center now, pushing westwards there. Conscript ready here to launch another large-scale counterattack here on Jimmy. Of course, he needs to stay clear of the MD42. Otherwise, any sort of swift attack might find himself quickly bogged down under a vast stream of lead. More pressure on the right flank again, trying to threaten there Jimmy's fuel. Jimmy, of course, looking to use his fuel at the same time. Tech should be done by now. I think at least on paper. Oh, right about done. We go for some fast panzer grenadiers at first. That can be a great pick with all these conscripts, since the panzer grenadiers tend to perform quite well versus them. We got a deep flank here with the flamethrower pioneers. Going to try and sneak up and go straight for the fuel point, ignoring some other points, and hopefully bait Use into pushing troops elsewhere and then sort of hit the point there. It's been slowly overwhelmed in before setting up, but again the flank is exposed. Need to be mindful of that. Conscripts also quickly bang behind the house, avoiding the MG42s to the line not fire. Very good here. Grenadiers reinforcing. Nothing further coming out of that light to make a nice company. So yeah, and there you go, deep flank by User's conscript. Time this up. At the same time as pushing for the eastern fuel point here, Jamie is finding himself extending a lot of fronts here as Use-M246 and the Red Army keeps striking. Keeps attacking. MG42 setting up to defend the fuel point, but the situation requires a lot of attention, a lot of plays. You can soon go for the panzer grenades. So at this point, I would increasingly say a panzer grenade squad's been a great pick here. Use-Ball is yet to take up at all. He's yet to build any structures, so relied on upgrades so far. Should definitely consider that soon. And Jimmy commits to a 4th Grenadier Squad, like going to be German infantry then. No surprise there, I suppose. But even then, I feel like a panzer grenadier squad right now probably better, honestly, than a 4th Grenadier Squad here. But here we are. Shock troopers up for Use-M246. He's gone for the first doctrine. It's shock rifle frontline tactics with the KV-8. Anti-tank gun ambush tactics. Shock troopers, obviously. The incendiary artillery barrage. And the IS-2 heavy tank with triple conscripts. We've got conscripting in here. Thumbs up to use for using the sandbags there as well. Very good stuff. Unless you're the Germans. Since the Gandhis do not particularly deal well with dug-in conscripts like that. It is in fact one of their greater weaknesses in the very much third matchup. And is also one of the reasons where I really want panzer grenadiers, since they do tend to perform a bit better digging out enemies behind that. Shock troops catching the pioneers here. The west side, he's almost got the western fuel point connected, but I doubt that this connection is going to last long. He's going to have to push out some light vehicles or something else here very, very soon versus Use. Grabbing further points here. Use is quickly putting his troops into good position. There goes shock troops catching the grenadiers here. Jimmy needs to retreat now, otherwise the shock troops can quickly annihilate his grenadiers, leaving nothing but dead bodies in their wake. Gun his machine gun repositioning. Medic bunker up. I like to make a nice drop there for Jimmy as well. So good. No son of a doctrine though. Again, I would think it's German infantry. Of course, it could be Jaeger infantry instead. Also a popular one. Gun is trying to maneuver about here. We've got them against comps there. More fighting around here. Being quickly cut off from most of the map here. Not a great look here for Jimmy and the Germans. Rifle grenade off here. Rifle grenade flies through the skies in there. Gone will take out the entire conscript. The heavy cover does narrowly save their posteriors from ultimate fascist annihilation. Machine gun repositioning. I believe we got the smoke grenade off here, which occasionally does not display if you don't see the smoke grenade go off, which is probably why it just looks like, you know, they're just staring at each other and the machine gun then retreats. My God, Jürgen, so hard Slavic stares. They terrify me. Run! But we have a machine gun. Run! The eyes. That's not an argument, Fritz. I don't care about the eyes. Anyway, still on the way there for Jimmy. Mines down here for Use, pushing for the eastern fuel point, but really rubbish situation here for Jimmy. Still no son of a doctrine. Still no son of that. Pioneers are catching these shock troopers, backed up by grenadiers. Quick grenade attempt here, but keeps moving about, so it's a bit harder to get off a quick grenade there. Go down just 2 men. That's going to be retreat here from Use shock troopers pretty quickly. He still hasn't built anything yet, but he's still maintaining incredibly good map control with what he has. Certainly just highlighting how powerful these conscripts can be if they're used properly against the opponent. Of course, having a shock trooper squad to back them up obviously does a lot of helping as well. Mines on the cover point as well, very good. Cover point, but you know, choke point. Gunnies was the conscript moving up here. 2-3 moving as well with his auto cannon and correction machine gun engaging the conscripts. Paul Dyatlov too slow, finds himself murdered right before the front door there. Armored car, the meanwhile, continuing to punch away there. Stainless on a doctrine machine gun covering up the centre west side. We get a fresh push here. Sandbags by the western victory point there. Gunnies moving up the eastern side. Conscript holding up there. Down to half health. Almost got one of the points close to his base connected once more. Sandbags almost done. And there goes the pump coming up here for Use at the 9-minute mark. He's obviously going to go next for the 10-10 command. But at that point, he might as well just go straight for mechanized armor company here with the current timing. There is very much helped by the fact that Jimmy has not been able to control the fuel particularly well. And in this regard, he's actually a bit behind in fuel compared to Use. So theoretically, he could get away with a T-7. He could also just get away with pushing straight for some T-34. So a few considerations here. But usually say around the 10 to 11 minute mark, you want to be careful about going for a T-70. Not saying you shouldn't go for it ever, but it's definitely one of those moments where you want to be a bit cautious about going for it. depending on like how the battle tech is shaping out. In this regard, then again, Use does, I think, have an opportunity to use the T-Sim here versus Jimmy, who has gone for a pack fully since Jimmy obviously realizes he's quite exposed to a T-70 otherwise, and the timing, particularly with the fuel harassment, may be great for more mines here by from Use. Thumbs up there, good mining overall. And ECS shock troops catching the news as try to deflect the fuel pump. That's going to force the armored car to move over there to deal with that, or some other light vehicle that potentially Jimmy could have, but he doesn't. The gunners being upgraded with light machine guns, so less likely German infantry, in which case it's Jaeger infantry, meaning maybe the air command squad is definitely be using it for the stupid close air support with the current way it's going. You could of course also consider ambush with camouflage into his units, plus of course sprint is great. There we go, smoke grenade that pops into it since the armored car can't deal with smoked up units particularly well still. Catches Dimitri there before he completely abandons into the smoke. Ha! You can't see me, fascist! Yes, they can, Dimitri! Oh! So odd! And then he gets murdered. Point being secured here. And there we go, Use is going for the T-Sim light tank. Shocked to the rider by the armoured car as soon as the smoke lift, but even then, in the amount of time the smoke screen lasted, they were able to run another point neutral, thusly once more cutting Jimmy off from his fuel. And right now, Use is getting 32 fuel versus Jamie's 13. More than twice as much and almost 3 times as much fuel that he's getting currently per minute, which is definitely something quickly get out of control if you're not careful as the Germans or whoever it is, that's behind on fuel per minute. T-Sim strikes here for the Red Army, causing further consternation troubles here for Jimmy. East here we got guns for the conscripts. Again, those Molotovs just keep going off like overly enthusiastic party goers. 2-2 versus the conscripts, and they're going to tank grenade off here. Second, of course, he has upgraded his conscripts with everything. I mean, at this point, he could technically use the mobilized reserves upgrade here to actually upgrade them to 7-man squads faster here. Though, typically, no one really does that. You can do it, but most don't really, because you can just go for the mechanized armor company, in which case the upgrade just follows for free. Those reinforcing healing, got the T-Sim moving through the center, and before opening up the T-Sim light tank. But there you go, Pack 4 Lancer, great punch in the T-Sim light tank, punches straight through the right armor. East Hut conscript warming up, they're threatening once more Jimmy's fuel lines. The 23rd Panzer Division's fuel lines. Should zooming about here, connection with the with the Pioneer support. Back here, connection Pioneers reinforcing, healing up, preparing for the next bit push against the Russen. Conscript right here. Shock troops setting out this road for Use-M246. Pushing west with the Grenadiers, Pioneers moving in, Grenadiers as well. Grenadiers reinforcing, no tech yet for Jimmy. All Panzer Grenadier, we got 2 light machine gun upgraded Grenadiers now. Still no sign of the doctrine, though again, at this point, I mean, process of elimination more or less tells it's going to be Jaeger infantry, since you typically choose Ostrom right away, German infantry either right away or closer soon, and then Jaeger infantry is like also one of those, but also one you're probably more likely to choose late in the game, mostly due to the super close air support and maybe the light artillery barrages. More mines going off here under Jimmy's men, and meanwhile again East push here is quickly confounding Jimmy as his center frontage there is quickly finding himself enveloped. The west side is making good progress, but we got that season quickly counter-tagging, and the Pack 40 can't quickly deal with that. It doesn't have a sufficient number of armored cars to lock that down either. So right now Jimmy is once more found himself in dicey waters, and there you go, hits another mine. Just Uses mining has been absolutely on point here versus Jimmy. Armored car down as well. He's laying down telemines, so that's a great spot way to do it here. Probably not one user's going to expect, because it's actually kind of what I call the blind spot. Most players tend to have a blind spot close to their own front. In fact, the closer you get to the base, they tend to have a greater blind spot because they'll usually assume, it's safe, partly because they figure they can see it all. But also, it's just, again, mentally, there's a blind spot for these kind of things that are closer to the base. So, nice setup there by Jimmy. Nice setup. Thumbs up. Morton there for Use. That's definitely an interesting move there. But perhaps with the sort of support here versus Jim, and that could definitely be a problem for him. Meanwhile, Jimmy is finally taking up, which is great, but he needs to get that fuel point back. Otherwise, the tech is not really going to go much around. There you go. T-70 hits the telemine. Certainly showing its worth there. A great surprise against Use-M246 and the Red Army. First Mechanized Corps suddenly found himself having to explain to headquarters how one of the tanks suddenly exploded within their own territory. Yes, it was saboteurs and counter-revolutionaries, not fascists can undermine us and my territory, I guarantee you. Like, counter-revolutionaries and saboteurs, that's not a good look either. Explosive fuel? Yes? No, I'm in trouble, aren't I? Anyways, troops holding up here. Mortar moving in there for Use-M246. Rifle grenade against the engineers. Pushing east with the fuel. They've got the structure ready to ambush there. Definitely not a great situation here for Jimmy versus Use. He still hasn't chosen a doctrine. Our mortar here supporting with its 82mm mortar bombs. Pioneers setting up there once more for Jimmy and the Germans. Going to take a nasty mortar hit. They're losing one poor soul. Coming right, you're going to threaten the center again. Machine gun is covering up here against that at least. We've got more mines again. Nobody's actually mining a spot where mine went off once because, you know, while lightning may not strike twice, mining the same spot works a lot of the time. Again, it's one of those blind spot things. And again, most people tend not to assume you actually mine the same spot again, so they'll assume it's safe. Demo charge in the building. Ooh, very cheeky there, but used. Very cheeky. West side here, Pioneers is the conscripts. Can build a supplement core, of course, even then he can't get anything out of it right away except maybe a Stug. A Stug wouldn't be a half bad choice versus Use. We could actually begin building the mechanized armor company soon, push more armor. Gunny's in a lot of trouble. Type 40 great to get him a T-70. And of course, the second T-70 at this stage is actually kind of risky for Use because it does still need your armor. And again, around this time, and that's definitely something you don't want to be doing. That's definitely something that gives, I think, Jimmy a very good chance to maybe stage a counterattack based off his own medium armor. If he can sort of get a decent fuel supply going again. That's kind of Jimmy's problem at the moment. I feel like he's focusing a bit too much in the center, like he has a bit too much attachment here. And not enough attachment to his fuel. So Palmer going up here, though, for Jimmy, for Germany. Deutschland. In the West Pioneers, in the point here, we've got a conscript hitting the flank. T7 need repairs again. Mortar here continues to fire away. We got 5 kills on it already. Veteran is 1, in fact, incredibly close to Veteran 2. Thumbs up there. Ooh, I think he spotted the demo charge. I hope it is like, Jürgen, did you leave a high explosive demo charge outside the window? 9? Then I think it might be rations. I think we need to leave this place before it explodes. Just a suggestion, yeah? Now we'll have to see if did he actually spot it or not, and if not, he might be in for a rough surprise later. And then, like, if he spotted it, does he actually remember it? Because sometimes you like to spot these things, and then because a lot of other stuff happens, you then forget about it. At which point you then get a very nasty surprise. Right, T7 is proving to be an issue there, of course. On right flank, Pioneers right up the coast on the west side. Here's a Palmer cause up. He could go for an Osprey or Panther 4, but actually he's going for the sniper. So he's likely going to go for the Panther 4 versus Use. Try and beat up some of his troops there, put some pressure on him that way. We'll have to see how that one works out. Smoke screen again there from Use. Thumbs up there. Pushing on the west side here. Jimmy's really struggling here versus Use. And the first mechanized core engineers there. Could they be laying down more mines here versus Jimmy? I mean, he's been doing a great job mining here versus Jimmy so far. An absolutely astounding job. T-70 falling back, of course, worried about the Pack 40, the Panzer Abwehr on the 40, Flamethrower Pioneers pushing back the shock troopers, sandbags on the center, Pioneers setting up the minesweepers. It's close to the Panther 4. He cancelled the sniper, then he cancelled the sniper. This chance the sniper's not needed anyways. Maybe finding around here, Pioneers in trouble. In the center, and the push 40 comes right over the Pioneers, the Gunners, and the MG42. More Gunners could move, of course. More light machine guns here for Jimmy. At this point, I mean, none of the Gunners were able to equip to veteran squad either, so I mean, that one's pretty much dead. So again, Jaeger Infantry is very much, I think, where it's going to be at. T-70 halfway down there for Use. There you go, Panther 4 for Jimmy. Engineers routed. Got 263 versus 425. A certain notable lead here for Use-M246 over Jimmy so far. Has he actually remembered the demo charge? He has in fact forgotten about it. Again, did he just never spot it? Like just someone sort of like one of the soldiers knows just decided, nah, that's probably not important. Not like the Russians know how to pack high explosives together into a small charge when send ready to explode. 9. They aren't nearly clever enough for that. Mine goes off here. And of course then watches one of the men gets blown apart by a mine. Anyways, got the western fuel point there. There we go, Jaeger in from Jimmy. Might say Jaeger command squad is a 5th infantry squad, which of course would give him a significant amount of infantry versus Use, but of course a 5-man infantry squad is pretty great, just on that basis as well. We'll have to see what he goes for. Either we got the Panther here for Jimmy, for Germany, Deutschland. Demo charge once from the spotted, but is Jimmy noticing? And there you go, he has spotted it, he's realised it. These reports have gone through. They will charge off. Building collapses. And some poor farmer in the distance goes, "My house!" West side going for the fuel pond there. Panther on the eastern side. He did have a problem there for Jimmy, or for Use. And certainly highlights that he might have pushed too far ahead there, leaving himself open to the Panther 4 again. Double T-70s does risk Panther 4's pushing back there. And the Panther 4 is definitely pushing ahead for the fatherland, rolling through the terrain, shooting Soviet infantrymen down and crashing the occasional squirrel. Pioneers move for the western victory point here. We'll have to see, of course, what he goes for next. Another field, a field, in fact, one if he uses it to go for any. I mean, at the current state of affairs, he could try and stall for the IS-2, and that would be a problem for Jamie, actually. Though I will say there's been a bit sometimes since we've seen any, like, IS-2 stalls here. Shock troopers running the gun these here. He still needs a lot of fuel in this regard. Jamie's fuel harassment is now working out slightly in his favour, though, even then, like, it is an IS-2 going to have against. He's going to need some serious anti-tank effort. And getting a pair of Stuks up, for example, would be a pretty good idea. That will lay down a lot more telemines and maybe catch up any Soviet heavy armour. Or lighter armour. Any armour, really. But they go going back to the western fuel point there for the glory of Comrade Stalin. Telemine down there. A rather flexible mine that could also be used, in fact, as a demo charge. Or a satchel charge. Like, basically just chuck it at advancing infantry and set off the charge. It's actually something that happens on the eastern front at times. Panther 4, they need to be slightly, I think, pulled away from the front line there, so it doesn't be sniped at there by a field gun. Sniper again here for Jimmy. He really wants to make that sniper work. But we'll have to see how he feels about that once the IS-2 heavy tank hits. He definitely spoke about that Panther 4 there. He, of course, also benefit from the pin-mark machine gun, but certainly considering he's gone for Jaeger Infantry, I'd not be surprised if he's going to try and set up the Stuka close air support. But there you go. Sniper out here for Jimmy, for Germany. East side here seeing infantry pushing forwards there for Use-M246. Worth noting, no Panzer Division with snipers directly attached to them. That would be more of an infantry division thing. Though they, of course, could have them theoretically attached to them, sort of more like independent attachments, sort of from, you know, core level. But, you know, as a rule of thumb, Panzer Division did not operate with snipers. Got it from the Pak 40 and the T-7 light tank, pushing him down to almost half health. West side here, Canadians advancing as well there. We got the Telemine spot as well. He could theoretically rifle the area, maybe home to set it off there onto some of Use's men's feet. Eastern fuel pump watchable hit, and there we go, Canadian sniper dealing with that. And pushed off the Telemine. The Telemine's actually intact as well, and there you go, baited into a mine instead. Cheeky. Pioneers bring up the minesweepers. Transforming eastwards. But yeah, Use is definitely holding out here for an IS-2 in this regard. The fuel lead he's had so far has more or less enabled that, though again the double T-70 is very much risky, and had a bit better fuel control there. This would obviously have been a lot more dangerous for Use than it actually currently is. Guys, reinforcing, healing. Stumbling about there with 2 kills so far here for Jimmy. Hard to see what he's planning next, but I'm guessing it's going to be another Panzer 4 the rest of the IS-2. Of course, he may want to consider more anti-tank weaponry overall, Pak 40s, or Stugs. My personal suggestion would be Stugs. Panzer 4 around the conscripts, the Frontoviks. And there go at the 23-minute mark here. Use-M246 and call the IS-2 heavy tank, and he does so. Soviet armor, heavy armor there ready. Shoot at the Dishka machine gun. West side here we got Pak forming up, kind of fire. Actually, not under fire, so Pioneers nearby, they're under fire. Pak 4, there might be a bit of trouble here. It's got the IS-2 moving in. There's only one Pak 40. There's no infantry screen either. It's like connect to hold off against from being rushed. This is a pretty risky move there, but Jimmy obviously he doesn't know about the IS-2 yet, but even then, just like on its own, it's still a pretty bad move that he committed to. And there you go. Use collecting our punish here. Jimmy's going for the shoot growth. Shoot 3G, very good, but he needs to get that Pak 40 to safety. He needs to get some support in there. More explosions in here. Big push here on his rounding. He does manage to get the Pak 40 to safety, though that is, I would say it's a pretty close call there for Jimmy, and could have been very ugly there. Stuk halfway done for Jimmy. For German, he will need one more Stuk at the very least, or more packs here. Eastern fuel pond once more being harassed. At this point, I would strongly recommend Jimmy and anyone else in these situations to lay down S-mines. I mean, against consistent harassment around a certain point, a good idea is the Valmet is just to lay down S-mines and force units to send in more mines where the troops can easily beat back. So on there, so that can usually buy some time. Also works around, you know, cut-off points close to your base. I mean, I assume in here for Jimmy. I assume for that. Use-M246. Jimmy doesn't have an IS-2 unless someone managed to cause it to be abandoned and then snap it. As with the moving up, he shoots, misses. Stug though is ready here for Jimmy. The Sturmgeschütz 3 as from G, early model. There's effectively two major variations from the Stug. That was the early and the late war model, with a lot of improvements to the late war model Stugs, typically in the form of the gun mantlet, which became improved then, a little less easy to penetrate. More machine guns typically, coaxial machines to this, which is typically not mentioned around Stugs, plus a remote control machine gun on top, similar to the Hetzer, amongst many small improvements. We've got another pack full there for Jimmy, another Panzerabwehrkanone 40. Centre West got constant 5 from the Gunnery's punishment as well. The west side here we got the Stug backing up the Gunnery push there. We got a pack 40 almost done. Pack 40 being hold forward, comes down to 5 from the Panther on the sniper. Pack 40 shoots and bounces off the IS-2's heavy frontal armour. Comes right there. Pack 40 out. Deep flank here from Jimmy's going to be possibly planning something. There might be a misclick. Pack gets penetrated by the Cis Fleet Division field and gets a hit on the Panzer IV. Stug moving in here to the centre now. T-7 ring to support the IS-2 by the looks of it. In the centre, still held here mostly by Use-M246. Jimmy's about to lose the eastern fuel point. He's getting the western one. Showing a lot of harassment over the fuel points there. A lot of back and forth. Though most of the fighting is still happening over the centre, as with both players, shall I say, putting most of their focus, their attention. T-7 westwards, their mind goes off on the Gunnery's feet. Here's the T-7 sets off. East side here, fuel almost secured by the conscripts, at least rendered neutral in the first place. Once more denying Jimmy his fuel, those doing the same at least here to Use-M246. West side here, Gunnery's going to fire from the T-70. And the centre Stug moving ahead, he needs to be careful. 200 points versus 322. Field then being shot at a bit. IS-2 blasts off another high close shot that Gunnery's forcing to retreat on the east side. Here we got shock trooping up the conscripts, Panther moving in. Gunnery's pioneer supporting as well here. Things are heating up once more on the right flank in at the centre. Things are getting slightly more intense. Well, now got the IS-2 moving forward again. Got double pack forwards plus the Stug. He could do a heavy setup down to the IS-2 very rapidly. But no. Most of them don't start firing, and the IS-2 gets away, bouncing a single shot there from the one pack forward to fight. Usually following up with Katyusha rocket launch help deal with the support and speed with the double pack 40s, and the fact they're being bunched up so closely, Katyusha of course is a great choice. Mortar battery going on there. Not a bad pick of course either to use that one. Not bad at all. And there you go, Jimmy going for another Sturmgeschütz 3 as from G. No, he cancels it. He cancels the Stug. What could Jimmy be planning here? Another Panther 4 instead? Or is he actually going to go for tier 4 for Panthers? Katyusha almost done there for use. And the Red Army, the first mechanized core Stug being fixed up there. No pinlock machine added to it. Using the eastern fuel point back again. T-7 used to grab at the west side there. Not bad. Stug moving towards the centre. Pack shooting and one penetrating hit on the IS-2. The other shot bounces. I feel like Jimmy needs to launch a proper full-scale assault here to then clear out the field against the support and isolate the IS-2, in which case we can deal with that. West side gun is aiming for 2 punch. We got no entertaining support with the T-70. East side here, we got a bit of light touch there from Use, moving slightly in, steadily in there. Gun is grabbing some fuel. Got the Katyusha rocket launcher ready, and now might be time for Use to just launch another hammer blow here against Jimmy. Maybe trying to destroy him. There you go, Stug westward up there with the T-70, but gets spotted by the shock troopers. It looks like Use is not reacting to this. To send the Stug in after. Now we got the IS-2 moving up here as well. And the Stug is isolated with no pack 40 support since both pack 40s around the centre. Oh dear. T-70 falling back a bit. IS-2 the print continue to be a thorn in the side here of Jimmy. There you go. Almost takes out the entire machine gun crew there. Another Panther 4 here for Jimmy. Another Panzerkampfwagen 4. T-7 engaging there. Stug holding back here. IS-2 moving towards the centre. Let's go on the centre victory point there. We got 158 versus 322. West side here, Stug on the prowl, on the hunt for T-70s. T-70 quickness I needs to get out there very fast for very obvious reasons. Stug shoots and misses instead of one wing. We'll get the ice shooting up the centre here. Pack 40's not following direction for that. Going straight ahead here. Pack 40's up at the same time. As soon as they set up, they risk getting hit by the Katyusha rocket launcher. Of course, he doesn't know about it yet, so he of course can't easily plan ahead. They could assume his opponent might have won by now, but he doesn't know it. Oh, wait, COH2 moving in there. Go flying on the pack forwards, most likely Infantry sitting up there. More hits there. One pack forward reposition there. Go rocket strikes going down there. First volley goes way too far. Second volley. Also a bit further here than perhaps anticipated, but then again, might be he's actually planning to hit there, in which case Jimmy's moving straight into his trap. But there you go. More rockets loading closer where the pack forwards originally were. Two Panther Force ready. A deep flank through here could maybe catch Use off guard. Maybe land some hits. So we got 3 full squads of training by under Use's command. West side here, T-Center running down the Stuke ready though to deal with Gunny's Squad supporting there. Go. Great hit from the Stuke. Damaging in the T-Center a bit here. We got 158% 3 and 1. Big push in the center of the Gunny's Pioneers machine gun. Pioneers pack 40s. Packs ready as well. We need to get the Panther support as well there, guys. We're coming on the fight from double packs. One shot bounces though. One shot bounces. More for the Pioneers. And T in the west gets taken up. The Stuke is almost knocked out as well by the field gun. Drive grenade off and Grenadiers on the field gun, but doesn't do as much as he could have. Shocks from the east side here. Grenadiers in trouble. There's the shock troopers. Suddenly things are heating up a lot between the two sides. And there you go. Panther Force sending an opportunity to go sends both in there to take out the shock trooper squad to maybe get a wipe here. Versus Use, of course, would be great, but most of the tanks that are struggling to hit anything. There we go. Get some poor bastard and making this machine taking most of the work there. Another field in here for Use-M246. Constant running up for a big push in the center to reclaim the victory point here from the fascists. Back here, Stuke any repairs. Should also really add a pin on machine gun. Nothing going on there. Grab on the western fuel point once more. He's got plenty of fuel munitions, for another for a air support column here versus Use. Timed correctly, could maybe win in the fight here. Panther one getting the conscript, going to western victory point here. Then he's engaging the front of it. And there goes second field gun ready here for Use-M246 for the Red Army. The first mechanized corps. Panther 4 moving up, shoots and noting no pin up machine gun there. Doing diamond repairs. And there go, looks like a slow assault here by Use-M246 versus Jimmy, and Jimmy just backs off. Decides it is not worth it. At least not for now. Grand Western victory point here. We got 158 plus 259. Panther lands great in the advancing conscript, taking out numerous infantrymen. There you go. Pack shooting, bouncing off the Use-2 front llama there. Another bounce here. Another shell thing to paint for there you go. Third shot goes through the Use-2's thick front llama. East side engineers moving up this. Laying down marches the gun there. Go to fire on the pack force again. Panther Force darting out of there. Stuke here could try to move support, but is so far holding back here under Jimmy's command. Field and trade support here. He's going to need infantry support to lead the way, backing up the tanks, in which case with their support he could probably clear out all of this and get rid of both field guns and the Use-2. I think there's a good chance Jimmy could win the match with that. In fact, might win on the spot. The west side here, Glennis Panther moving up here. Center, still got the field for bombarding. I think he's trying to prevent Jim from making a straight rush for the center victory point. East side engineers grabbing points there. No counterattack from Jimmy either. Seems like he might be hesitating, struggling to figure out where he wants to go against Use-M246 here at the moment. There goes Sniper moving in. We got 15 kills, so close victory on the west side. Grenadiers on the fire from the Use-2 heavy tank. We got 14 kills on the Use-2 heavy tank. Sniper there hanging a bit back. Stuke almost good to go. Panther Force being fixed up. Sadly, he's not full pop caps. He can't easily call in more armor, in which case I would recommend another Stuke. Of course, he could theoretically just begin setting up for tier 4 now. Research up the heavy pants core. So once he then suddenly loses enough units, he can then go for something from there. There is an option to consider, though. So far, there's none of that either here from Jimmy. Grubnik does some light damage, but not enough. We got 104 versus 259. Packs moving up. Now, Use-2 moving hit there, but the pack 4s are definitely not ready to deal with that. Not by here that Use actually ambushing the field guns to make them hard to spot and detect for his opponent. Thumbs up there. Thumbs up. And these have one Grenadiers Corps versus a throng of conscripts here under Use's command. He's going to move straight ahead. Their sniper getting a few kills in there, but not enough to stop the whole. But there you go. Panther Force arrives, shoots, and getting some damage in. Of course, they are really relying on the machines in this case. I think. But there's still upgrades. There you go. Great hit on the conscript. Almost taken out there. Looks like it gets away. COH2 rocket launcher fire again. Going for the pack 40s. Several hits there. No wipes there. Panther Force taking a few light hits as well. Grenadiers being caught in the rocket strikes and almost gets annihilated. Pack 40s do manage to get out there. Conscript almost being annihilated by the two Panther Force. And we got air support called in here by Jimmy against Use. The Luftwaffe strikes. But of course, needs sign there, guys. Two taking views from the Stuka Kanonenvogel. but most of the shots end up not doing too much there. Panther quickly blitzing out. They contra from the center. We got 83 versus 259. More pioneers here for Jimmy to replace the one slot. Troops repairing the Panzer IV. And both Panzer IVs are in dying repairs. Still got the shooter, which is not really be doing much all of a sudden. He definitely should not forget about that one. IS-2 needs some repairs. But comparatively, not so much needs to be done there for Use. Gunny's advancing on the center of 8 point. Eastern 1 being lost here to Use-M246. One will strikes, one will seeks an opportunity and seizes it with both hands. Gunny's almost taken out with the 3 divisional field gun barrage. Now moving up again. Stu moving forwards. Panther 4 they're being repaired. Mortar with 8 kills. Ace level. Finding the center, there goes Shock2's moving in, almost taking on the entire gun of the escort. Sniper could land ahead here with the incendiary explosion round. There goes Stu, charges in here to disrupt the formation, give the M42 time to open as well there. Grenade nonetheless goes off, they're almost taking out the entire machine gun crew. At the same time, flanking on the by the conscripts up here, going for the missions point, ignoring the fuel point, or victory point by the way, pushing for the center. We've got 75 to 259. Use pushes against Jimmy. Jimmy's just falling back here. Barely any map, because more importantly, no victory point is actually controlling here. And Use just keeps up the momentum here with the infantry, going for those Pack 40s, trying to wipe them, trying to deny Jimmy some of his heavy anti-tank as you see it versus Use IS-2 heavy tank. Looks like the Pack's been hauled to safety here, narrowly, and there goes the fire rain down here. Rockets screaming through the skies, punities on being taken out here, Pack taking hits here, IS-2 engaging, missing, or at least failing to penetrate, lucky there for Jimmy either way. Panzer IV getting ready to Stu moving in. We got 65 versus 259. He's grabbing both victory points now. Good. Unless you're in which case that is pretty bad. Gunny's advancing. Center victory point secured. Eastern 1 secured. We got 60 versus 259. Stu, Panzer IV packs there. He needs to launch, I think, an attack from that unexpected angle right now versus Use with full force. He needs to somehow catch him off guard and do as much damage as possible and grab all the victory points. But it seems like he's just going for head-on assault here, which gives Use the most time to stall and delay Jimmy's advance here. Which of course may mean he may run out of victory points. They're going bombarding the center victory point to keep it out of his opponent's hand. Could also use the mortar barrage and the Katyusha barrage here. Going for the western victory point as well here. Jimmy continues here, but again he's happening at a very slow pace, giving Use more time to react here to the attack. T-54 from 6 halfway done. Bombarding the Panther IVs a bit of waste of munitions and shot from the field gun. Gunny's got the center victory point. Ground the western one. We got 30 versus 259. Tanks holding back here for Jimmy, for Germany. Deutschland, back here. Uses men hard at work, they're fixing up the IS-2. Comes with shock troops lining up for another glorious assault for the motherland. Charging through the center, Sniper their half health, pushed back. Panzer IV, down to less than half health. T-54 from 6 almost done. Grenadiers routed, almost wiped out. Pushing the west side with the shock troops, going for the Grenadiers point there. Stugling in, company held up here. Heavy fire, the IS-2 shoots. Several hits there on the Stug. Gaining Betty, 2 thumbs up there. We got 21 though versus 259. Shock troops actually right here by the western victory point. Good work by Jimmy. Conscript charging forwards. Panzer IV knocked out. Stug's about to get knocked out as well here. Might have misclicked. The Stug is down. Jimmy's got 1 Panzer IV left now here. Versus the IS-2, the T-54. Not great there for Jimmy. West side here, see Gunny's moving towards the center. We've got the T-54 moving up. The Katyusha firing down here as well. Against the back forwards. Oh, the Panzer IV's abandoned, but I imagine only until the Katyusha knocks it out fully. If it does, apparently it doesn't. Pretty lucky there, I guess, for Jimmy if he can somehow get his hands on it. T-54 going through the center. Grenadiers retreating. We've got 21 versus 259. With this, Jimmy surrenders. A loss for the German army, a victory for the Red Army. A brutal fight here on Langraskaya, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell friends, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This has been Pearl Dancing. Cheers, thank you for watching. Hope you'll tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.